Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green Pill Secret. I'm Jeffrey here again with my good friend and ravishing co-host Kat, and I'm here to tell you about the sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy is a common concept in economics, and here I'm getting boring with economics. But no, this is a serious thing. It's a life hack that I personally like. It's good for me. Kat, it's probably good for you too. It is the idea that no matter how much you've invested in time or money, always reassess and be willing to take the loss and don't just keep doing it because you've invested.
Yeah.
Cut your losses.
I
That's
think
all it
that
is.
now that you mention, I think that there's a lot of good advice that we can probably get from economics.
Mm,
If you think of, I'm just thinking of bits that I've learned from the newsroom, and they're, because don't get me wrong, I know bugger all about economics, but having worshipped at the altar of Sloan Sabbath by many watch-throughs of the newsroom between
hmm.
this one and the concept of the greater fool. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for life lessons from economics, but yeah, carry
Right.
on.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. I'm someone who grew up here in the United States, but I spent a semester in France in the lycée. And unlike the United States, there's actually a course for economics. The French students learn economics in their second year. And that kind of seems to me that and civics are things that are missing from our school system. You
I
go
took it
out,
in high school.
yeah. I,
I
I
had
mean,
to. I had to take it in high school. I don't
oh,
remember
really?
the thing, but I had to take economics in high
Oh,
school.
that's interesting. Yeah, my school didn't have it, but I guess that's the way it is with the United States. Every school is different, right? You're in New York and I'm in Connecticut, and who knows, just a state away, it can be
And don't
different.
get me started on how I think that they need to bring back shop and home ec.
Oh yeah, those were fun. Those
Uh,
were good. Those were good.
those are useful, and I think they should
Hmm.
make everybody t take everything regardless of gender, but that's
Absolutely.
beside the point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Home ec is the reason I know how to sew, but again,
Right.
that's a whole other thing. Yeah, there's a line from the newsroom where somebody's moving in with their girlfriend, and Sloan says to him, if you move in together, it makes it harder to break up. You have to get cartons." And it is. I've been in a bunch of relationships where well, I would probably get out of this relationship, but we're living together and we're
Mm-hmm.
here
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you have to get cartons, and it's just a big, I don't want to say hassle, but
Right.
you're there and you're invested, and
Right.
you 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 kind of just don't wanna.
Right.
People have stayed in marriages for
Oh
that
yeah.
reason. I stayed in mine for longer than I probably should have
Oh,
for
and me as well.
for
I
that
mean,
for that reason. You don't want to, you've put in all of this time and effort and whatever, and you don't want to bail.
right. No, I mean you're in this thing. Marriage. Oh yeah. Legit marriage. I care about that person that I was married to, and nice person. She has her thing, I have my thing. But should we have better been friends for all those years and not married? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably we should have just been friends. We make good friends, but no, marriage was probably not the right thing for us, and I should have gotten out a lot earlier and not let my mind spin in all the other things that I was thinking about and wondering about and not me knowing about. It's it's sunk cost. Sunk
But
cost. Get out.
contrary wise though, sometimes it does pay off to push through. Sometimes you are just pushing through a rough patch.
Right.
Sometimes it's um I just started a new job, and I said a bunch of times during the onboarding process, because the onboarding process was a pain in the butt. and there was so many forms to fill out. I'm sitting here going, I think they're making me buy a house. And it was just a big pain in the neck. And meanwhile, all of the training and the this and the that, it was so discouraging and so terrifying and so whatever. And honestly, if I hadn't been, I'm like, look, I'm invested now. I'm
Right.
I'm here. I'm invested. But it got so frustrating for a while there that if I wasn't already in, I might have bailed.
Right.
And I'm glad that I didn't, because I'm getting, the onboarding eventually was over and I'm
Hmm.
hired and getting paid. And now I'm getting past the point where the instruction is quite so terrifying. And now I'm getting to the part where, okay, it's actually kind of fun and, you know,
Right.
whatever. So sometimes, I mean, when I was teaching myself how to play the ukulele,
Hmm.
it takes a while for the calluses to build up on your
Right.
fingers. It takes a while. You have to push through the part where it sucks, the part where it's hard, and then you finally get to the point where, oh, now it's fun.
Right.
So sometimes,
Sometimes, yes, it is worth investing. I mean, look, a rough patch, you're absolutely right. If you have a fight, this is not a reason to break up. If you are having a fight with a serious long-term relationship, that is not the trigger to break up, even if this is the worst fight you've ever had. Oh, don't get me wrong. If there is physical violence, no, get
well,
out.
yes,
Get out of that.
yes,
And
that's
certainly when I talk about me quitting my job, that was getting to the point where I was working 50 hours a week and not getting credit for all the work I was doing. It was just unsustainable. And the promise of moving within walking distance of my home, never making to fruition and always being told soon, 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 and never happening. No, I had to give up. That was the sunk cost that no, I invested the year. It was just never going to happen, and it would kill me if I kept with it, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to move on. That's a sunk cost. And that's the way it is. I mean, that's absolutely the way it is. I just, I
back to
think,
the newsroom. I'm sorry I keep bringing up the newsroom, but
yeah,
like
no,
all
please
these
do.
examples keep coming back to the newsroom. Don and Maggie on the newsroom, they're together, and it seems like every time things get rough, one or the other of them goes, "Yeah, let's break up."
Ah,
And they break up, and then she apologizes, and then they get back together.
mm,
And at some point, somebody says to her, yeah, you two obviously have something, but why don't you learn how to have a fight? Stop
yes,
breaking up. Learn
right,
how to have a fight.
right.
And, then right in the beginning of season two, they break up anyway. They weren't a good couple to begin with, but, you know, yeah, good advice for learn how to have a fight. Don't just bail at every little thing.
Right, right. And that's the opposite. That's the flip side of it. Just remember that sunk cost isn't about leaving at the drop of a hat because you just get too difficult. No, 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 no. I mean, despite my speaking of trying to get out of a marriage that I should have gotten out of a long time ago, or, that we had good times. There were some really good things that we did together. I'm very thankful for those things we did together. But in the end, I can't consider the sunk cost of a job that wasn't working out or needs that weren't being met that I should just accept. I needed to get out. I needed to drop and say the cost has been sunk and move on. But not every fight is a move on. Not every financial loss is a move on. Not every job is a move on. You got to know when the future doesn't look any better than the present, then maybe it's a sunk cost. And if the future is just less pain and more pleasure, then maybe just bite the bullet and accept it for a while. Just like you are, Kat, with your job. I mean, bite the bullet, accept it because there are good times coming up.
I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes it's something that you can push through. I remember being in a relationship and there was somebody else who was really pressuring me to dump this person and go out with them. And
Oh
I'm
dear.
going, I should have. I should
Mm,
have done that. Not that this other would have, not that I think this other relationship would have particularly gone anywhere either, but
mm.
it probably would have been fun while it lasted, and this one certainly wasn't going anywhere.
Right, right, right.
So it, you
Yeah,
know, hindsight being 2020, that's what I should have done. But trala.
sure. I mean, me, I had that nice relationship in 2023 with a very good friend of mine, and it just wasn't working out. And I didn't want to linger on past the 6 months because I knew it wasn't going to pan out, and I had to end it. Not that I wanted to hurt her. I tried my best to be as good a thing. I drove out and said that it's not working and made sure that she was okay and gave her time to accept it. And we remain friends. Sometimes you just got to do that and got to move on. Uh, but do it not mean, do it not cruel. Don't be rude about things. As Kat, you were very kind to essentially stay with the person even though it wasn't working out, and you knew it would not work out in time over time.
I mean, I also keep thinking of that episode of The Simpsons where Bart wanted to learn how to do something or other. It was either magic or something. And by the end of it, it was, Dad, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't good at it right away, so I quit.
Mm, right,
And
right, and that's it. Your 1,000 hours, you ain't gonna get it in 10. Right.
well, yeah. I mean, this is what Gracie, unfortunately, is very impatient with that sort of thing. And I keep telling her, everybody sucks at stuff at the beginning.
Exactly.
Have to invest some time. That's
Right,
that's just how it works. You have to, no investment, no return.
right. My first writing sucks compared to what I write now. My first speeches given in Toastmasters suck compared to the speeches I give now. I do it over time. I become better over time. That investment is worth it. And that's not a sunk cost, not a sunk cost of me not doing a good Toastmasters. That is a sunk cost of nothing because I know that eventually that investment is going to pay off.
Yeah. Well, I think the investment and practice,
Hmm.
that's always, practice is always worth the investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. Thanks everyone for watching. You have a good day.